Hello everyone, Loremaster of Sotek here, and I'm back. If you're like, what is he talking about? Why is he back? It's because yesterday I released a video where I went over all the vampire count rework, and today is the kind of part 2 of that because that was already way too freaking long, where I am now going to be just covering the Neferata parts of the vampire count stream, where Creative Assembly showed off a insane amount of crap. They showed off so much. So we see a lot of really cool stuff here. Just delving into it. We have her starting animation screen, which we'll look at in a second because they're gonna start talking. Also, I do apologize if the audio is a little weird. I thought I'd set up my audio super nice, and then I turned my computer off for the evening, and I came back and rebooted it, and Windows did something that just broke everything. So I have to completely redo it all, and I had help to do it the first time, so I had kind of to bullshit my way through it, and it probably sounds not great, but bear with me. So here we see Neferata's starting army, where she has 2 Lahmian handmaiden units, one of each lore, so she has one of death, one of shadow. We also have the Graveguard with halberds, 2 skeleton warriors, and at least 1 unit of black knights with lances. We see she has the Web of Power mechanic. She has the Vampire Covens mechanic. Then she gets plus 20% hero action success chance to all characters, minus 10% upkeep to Lahmian handmaiden units faction wide. And after she conquers Lamia, she gains access to a small number of Tomb King units. Very, very cool. I always love when characters kind of have like cross roster stuff. That's always incredibly exciting. And then for her Lord effect, she has access to Bastet. Bastet is a really interesting creature. They are actually like a noted entity within Warhammer Fantasy. I want to say their last notable depiction was in Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd edition, or might have been 1st edition actually. But I believe it was the Tomb of the Vulture Lord, I think is what it's called. But it's a supplement about King Amenhotep or whatever the hell his name is. And the Bastet was a skeletal Tomb King-esque cat creature that ties back to Nehekaran mythology and history and such. We also see that minus 50% enemy hero success chance in her territory. Oh, only when she's in her own territory. Interesting. Okay. Plus 10 leadership for Lahmian heroes in her army. Plus 10 melee defense for Lahmian heroes in her army. And return to Lamia. She is immune to mountain and desert attrition, but only Neferata is. Very, very cool.
Oh, right. I was talking about
I made this.
I know.
Oh, also, sorry. Because this stream is so goddamn long, I do have them on 1.5 speed, so everything's going to be like kind of fast. But I do really love her intro cinematic. It's just her being all spooky there in front of the... Oh, you know what I could do is I could just turn this back to normal time. I love she summons the Lahmians to her, and they're all whispering in her ear. Oh my gosh, look at this art. This art looks so cool. So here we have Neferata on her Coven throne, which is being defended by 2 Lahmians. And we see we have a Kislevite Lahmian here, which is... I love the Lahmians from the different cultures. It's such a badass way to interpret them and to show how they're like this global empire. From the article that they released on Neferata, we saw there are Cathayan Lahmians, Old World Lahmians, and Kislevite Lahmians. It looks like here we've got like a true Silver Pinnacle Lahmian over here. But they look absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to go back to 1.5 speed because I'm not looking at a movie anymore.
Let's go. Okay. And there you go. That's where I grabbed our thumbnail image from.
Yeah, I mean,
looks super duper good. This artwork looks incredible. Yeah, it looks awesome.
I only just had a moment.
I cannot wait to play with her, man.
Maybe put this somewhere in
oh, she does have a movie. Are they going to let it play, or is he going to skip it?
The primary vampire.
Okay, so you know what? I am going to turn the speed down. I didn't know that they had the movie on. Look at CA showing off everything we want to show off, the bastards.
Like where I've inhabited my own body.
But CA, what about my ad revenue? You don't need the ad revenue. I need the ad revenue.
People will notice. I think we already maybe put this somewhere in a blog, maybe, but Vlad is actually the primary vampire count lord now, so it's not Manfred anymore. I did that for 2 reasons. Number 1,
oh, look at that art. Look at that incredible art. That's so cool. That's such a brilliant depiction of Neferata. Like, that's such a fascinating depiction of Neferata spreading the curse of vampirism through her elixir.
It is kind of like the quintessential vampire. You can kind of like argue that with Manfred being a little bit more important in certain ways. I get that, but I
love that
think
we got to
Sotek
actually see
makes a
Lamia.
little bit more sense to me. And also, I agree with the change we made a long time ago to put Manfred in the desert because it's an interesting start pause.
Okay, so there you can see the Bastets. So the Bastets are these skeletal cat creatures. It looks like they're kind of interpreting them almost as familiars in this, but I love this art. This is super fucking cool. We see you've got this little surrounding group of Lahmians that are kowtowing to good old Neferata. She's looking all sexy up on her chair. Interesting bone throne. I'm gonna be honest. I think the bone throne is a little dumb for Neferata. I don't think her throne would actually look like this. I think she would want something significantly more ornate and beautiful, as opposed to like grotesque. Just based on what I know about her, this almost feels much more like an Age of Sigmar depiction of Neferata and the way she built everything around her in New Lamia. I shit you not, that is the name of her country in AOS is New Lamia, but New Lamia within you, I should say. But it's fine. For the Silver Pinnacle, the Silver Pinnacle was supposed to be much more like ornate. This looks a little
the
too
quintessential experience is playing a vampire in Drakenhof, right?
I will say I do love the whole thing of her giving a dagger to this other Lahmian. This almost feels like a really good reference to Gotrek and Felix, the Serpent Queen. Gotrek and Felix, the Serpent Queen, follows the story of Gotrek and Felix like going down to Nehekhara, and they team up with Khalida and they fight against Neferata's puppets. And the big bad of that novel is this big scary Lahmian vampire who you find out is not only an agent of Neferata, but was basically given a dagger that Neferata kind of lies to her essentially and tells her that like the dagger can be used to kill Khalida, but that's not what it actually does. Instead, it's literally just a memento between Neferata and Khalida, and you find out that Neferata basically just gives little trinkets, little things that her and Khalida used to share to her agents that then try to assassinate Khalida so that those trinkets find their way back to her, and then Khalida will then take those artifacts and create these really convoluted schemes that will allow them to be used to like kill vampires so that they find their way back to Neferata. And it's kind of like a weird assassination game they play with each other, which is kind of hilarious.
Or in Sylvania, I should say. So that's kind of why I kind of wanted to put Vlad as the #1 guy.
I really love these intro movies.
I didn't know we were going to play this.
I do love the I do love this foppish imperial general, this noble, whoever this is, being manipulated by his Lahmian courtesan.
Treachery and death.
Under the full light of Manslib
shall rise from the shadows, Queen of Night and...
This is really fun. This is great art. Her on her Coven Throne again. Looks super duper cool.
Queen of all.
Spooky Lahmians.
And then is it going to go into a flyby?
Should go into the flyby now. So,
I think I know there's some work polish being done to the flybys at the moment.
Yeah, I mean,
as you can see.
Caveat everything.
Yeah, so the flybys are nice. Apparently there's like 21, 24, somewhere in that ballpark, theaters. And each theater has its own unique flyover, where the new advisor basically talks, and you get to see who all the major figures are.
So here we are in.
That artwork of Neferata looks fucking awesome. I love how on one half it's in the sunlight and it's like the glorious architecture of Lamia, and then on the other side it's the shadowy darkness of the Silver Pinnacle. That's really cool.
And the Lahmian Sisterhood. So, where to begin?
I like that a lot.
Neferata has all of what you just saw with the vampire counts.
She also has Unit of Felbats. That's what I missed in the starting screen.
I guess race rework. We've added.
Starts exactly where we hoped she would.
The Lahmian handmaidens.
And are these
So, okay, so the Lahmian Handmaidens of Death and the Lahmian Handmaidens of Shadow both have charmed attacks, it looks like. So charmed attacks is a melee debuff, so when you stab someone, you do extra damage. What's interesting, okay, so the Death Handmaidens only have a one-handed sword, but they also get magical attacks. So they get magic damage on their melee attacks, whereas the Lahmians of Shadows do not get magic attacks, but they do get a anti-infantry bonus.
These part of the DLC?
Because they wield dual weapons. So that's cool. I like that they're actually different.
They're not. I was setting you up to be able to say a nice thing.
Okay. Okay.
I'm also now only 90% sure.
Oh, you really don't like self.
Someone in the live stream chat just confirmed these are free.
Yeah, they
I'm
are.
99.9% sure they are.
They are free. These are free, and you can get them, by the way, as I think I even replied this on Reddit, so I already know. But these are available for all vampire accounts.
Yes.
They're not just associated with Neferata. Obviously, Neferata can buff Lahmian stuff way more than any other.
I will say, I also really love that we're getting elite units for each of the bloodlines. So now we have the Drakenhof Templars, which are a very elite von Karstein unit. We have the Blood Dragon, or the Blood Knights as the elite Blood Dragon unit. We have the Lahmian Handmaidens as the elite Lahmian unit. And I'd love to see it for the others as well. I mean, granted, the Strigoi and the Necrocs are a little weird. They don't traditionally have like groups of vampires. That's not how they work. The Necrocs are extremely isolationist, and the Strigoi are also very, very isolationist when it comes to other vampires. So for them, I think it makes sense that like for the Necrocs, it's the zombie dragon. Like the zombie dragon is the ultimate expression of the Necroc art. Alongside units like the Hex Race and stuff. So you have like the Hex Race and the Zombie Dragon for the Necrocs is like their ultimate expressions of that bloodline. And then for the Strigoi, obviously it's the Terrorgeist and the Crypt Horrors. So I am very excited that we're finally at the point where we have a elite unit for every single one of the bloodlines now, which is very, very cool.
Yeah. New units. Can we talk as well about other units? Can we do that?
And we can talk about whatever you want.
Okay, so go into the recruitment pool, Raised Dead. We didn't cover this in the vampire count, so if you go to the top,
Yep.
There's a bunch of new units. One of them is the...
This?
No, this one.
This one?
Yeah. Drakenhof Templars.
Dragonhof Templars.
So again...
So they are armored and shielded. They heal in combat. They don't actually have regen. They heal in combat through the blood. And they have anti-large. I'm curious. So I'm guessing they're just worse than Blood Knights.
Associated with the undead. This one I do believe is part of
This
the
is
DLC.
part of the DLC, yes.
There you go. Get it right. So that's another unit the vampire counts can get shared with.
I'm curious
Nagash.
what really separates
And
them from.
We should also talk about Zombie Dragon.
I'm curious what's going to separate them from the Blood Dragons. I'm imagining they're going to be tankier.
Oh, do you know what? That's why people have been saying address me.
Right. Okay. So Zombie Dragon, previously a mount and a pretty powerful. I think Zombie. Yeah,
I'm so happy to see
Tier 5,
the
maybe
Zombie
like the
Dragon back. I'm
most
very,
powerful
very, very,
unit.
very pleased to see the Zombie
Certainly
Dragon
very
back in.
powerful.
It looks great.
Yeah, that's one of the cool ones as well.
We've been needing that for a
And I
long
think all the
time,
way to the
CA.
right,
We've been needing
the
that
other
for a
unit
long
we talk
time.
About is it that one?
And then the Coven
Yeah, the
Throne.
One thing I
Magic
don't know,
attacks,
is
anti-infantry,
it
armor
Coven or
piercing,
is it Coven?
good amount of
Oh,
health.
you've asked someone who mispronounces nearly every single word.
It's Coven.
Of a
It's a
name
coven,
One,
like a
Sean.
coven of
Who
witches.
thinks that you pronounce layers as layer? It's dead. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna be skipping their silly
Cool.
discussions.
No, I think it's free.
I also think that, but again, if
Okay,
you
so
could definitely give up.
so for vampire count players, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 4 new units. Well, okay, if you're counting the Lahmian Handmaidens as 2 separate units, you have 5 new units, 3 of which are free LC. Oh no, it's 6 new units. There's 6 new units with vampire counts. There's 3 that are free LC, being the Zombie Dragon and the Lahmian Handmaidens, and then the 3 that are DLC are the Spirit Host, the Drakenhof Templars, and the Coven Throne.
The other thing to mention, just while
That's
we're in
pretty
the
good.
panel, because I completely
That's pretty
forgot,
good.
There are unit caps. Some units are infinite, as you see from the
Yes.
infinite symbol.
Yeah,
there.
some units are in.
Frost
Yep,
and
yep.
time.
Go watch my other
Just
video if you
this,
want
right,
to talk.
so
If
we weren't too worried about whether she
thing.
was going to be a DLC or a free LC.
Yep.
She was going to get cool stuff either way.
But
so.
the units we thought they're made. We should include them as part of the free
Exactly.
free update.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about Neferata's features.
Cool.
So Neferata. maybe
Yeah,
like a
Neferata,
bit
you
more
could
complex.
really tell that Neferata was originally intended to be like a character pack, like they did with Bashiva, because that was the original plan. But then they pivoted to like combine all that stuff under Nagash, and then just made Neferata free and just included a lot of her stuff for free, which is good. But you could definitely see like an alternate history where instead of Bashiva, we would have gotten Neferata probably with the 2 Lahmian handmaids and the Coven Throne. That would have been it. Like that probably would have been like all the units that she got, just those 3 units, and maybe like the free LC was the zombie dragon. So I think this is the better timeline.
It's kind of like your
But I
base
dig it.
Vampire Counts faction. So you'll see on the top
Her
bar,
and her
on the
big
HUD,
old fucking
next to
halberd.
blood, we've got another resource, which
Okay,
is
so manipulation. The presence of Lahmians is seldom
this
noticed.
is really key to Neferata's feature
okay,
set.
manipulation measure
We'll
those-
talk about this more when we go into the Web of Power. So the Web of Power, this is Neferata's.
Okay, so we saw this in the article. I'm probably going to be skipping a lot through this. Once again, if you want to hear like literally every little thing they want to say, go watch their stream on it. But it looks pretty much identical to Yuan Bo's system or the system of Deathmaster Snitch. It's actually a bit closer to Deathmaster Snitch's system because it seems like it requires you to dedicate characters to go and do it. However, we could see that the resource can get pretty significantly high.
Big feature.
Yep.
So, if you don't know the theming of...
Hopefully they'll
Neferata
show
and what she-
what someone could do. Seeds of Discord. Targeted faction will declare war on one of its neighbors, not including you. That's what I'm talking about. That is so sick. That is so sick. I love that. I love that. That is so cool. Oh, I love manipulation stuff like that. That's great. Character performing this action gains 1,000 experience.
She's all about kind of subterfuge. She's all about...
That's
being
so
hidden in the
cool.
shadows.
That feels like
She's got
Neferata
this
right there.
massive
That feels
web
like
of intrigue
Neferata.
that expands across
Also,
the
once
world.
again, I'm so sorry if the microphone sounds bad. Every once in a while, I'm looking over and Steve or OBS is like, "You're peeking." So my apologies if it's
She kind of sends out
too loud.
her
I gotta
handmaidens,
mess around with it more.
which are Lahmian
But I had to
vampires
record this
primarily.
video, and I
She
don't have
sends
time
them
to
out kind
redo
of
everything
do
because the
bidding.
person that
That's
helped me the
really
first
what she's
time
all
isn't
about.
awake when I'm
So it
trying to
made
record all
sense
this.
to kind of...
Secret Journey. Teleport Neferata and her army to the targeted vampire coven. The character that performs this action gets 1,000 experience. Oh, that's really cool.
make that her feature, right? Her feature is like her web of power.
So
you can do a lot
Neferata
of
can
different
teleport
things in here.
herself. That's
One
very,
of my
very cool.
favorites is Seeds of Discord.
Yeah.
So this is
I
like,
moused over that 'cause it's one of my favorites as well.
yeah, this one is
Josh,
my favorite.
mouse
I
over
had
something
so
else.
much
Quit
fun.
mousing over the
I
same
actually had a
goddamn
holiday,
thing
a
like
week
5
ago,
times.
And I just played Neferata the entire
I
time.
need
and had
variety.
Sean sending me messages like, "Why are you playing Neferata? Go on holiday." And I was like, "No, I'm having so much fun." And she's got stuff. So they're focused a little.
Okay, we're just going to skip ahead a bit. Perilous Paths. Teleport the targeted force to an adjacent province. The character performing this action will gain 3,000 experience, and then they need to recover. That's really, really fun. I do love that this allows you to target... I'm guessing this is going to allow you to target a friendly faction, or you could target an enemy faction and kick them out. Actually, considering that it's red text and background, not blue, I'm assuming maybe you have to use this
on
on enemy.
agents, but she really like doubles down on that, and she can do lots of different
This is
stuff.
super cool,
To
though.
use these
This
actions,
is
they're
exactly
kind of
what I
tiered.
wanted it to be.
So you'll need two things. You'll
which
need
is awesome.
manipulation, which is the key resource.
Yep.
Manipulation does have
Seductive Swindle. Steal a random magical item from the targeted character. Gain 500 experience, but you get a diplomacy penalty with that faction. That's very funny.
a capacity. So right now you can only have 100.
Okay, so you can gain manipulation through technology, commandments, landmarks, and vampire covens. However, it is used also by vampire covens, technology, and web of power.
Manipulation,
Oh, geez.
which
All
kind
right,
of
so you use it on a lot of
limits each
stuff.
The kind of earlier tier 1 like level actions. So you're going to need to increase.
Whoa. Slow down there, son. Whispers of Insurrection. Incite a rebellion in the targeted region and gain 2,000 experience. Awesome. Lurid Distractions. Block all movement of the targeted force and gain 1,000 experience. That is super good. Blocking movement is one of the level 1 abilities. That is incredibly good. Okay, and then Dark Whispers we saw... Oh no, we didn't see Dark Whispers. Dark Whisper, force target fashion to break all diplomatic treaties. Oh, that's so good. That's so good. Everything except vassalage. I love that. That is absolutely incredible. Thank you, Jeebus. That is that is so strong.
So you're gonna need to increase your.
Okay, hold on. I think we can see it. Granted, remember all these are placeholder, or not placeholder, but all of these are work in progress. So it's very possible some of these might change before the build goes live in a month. Scorched Souls, raise all regions in the targeted province and convert their climate to undead wasteland. Holy shit. Only Neferata can do that. Okay. I mean, still, god damn, that's really powerful. She only has to be level 25 for that, too. That is not that expensive. Fangs in the Night. Deal 30% damage to the targeted garrison. That's actually super good. Immediately cause wall breaches in their walls. Amazing. The Harridan's Gambit. The targeted faction will declare war on all of Neferata's current enemies. God damn. That is so strong. That is so strong. Oh my god.
The manipulation itself.
Oh my god. Those are so cool. Those are such good abilities.
Some people will realize this.
Those are such good abilities.
Really cool feature,
oh, Neferata looks like so much fun, man. Neferata looks like so much fun.
Shadowy dealings feature. And a really cool part of this, like mechanic, is that it requires agents to do the actions. So, for example, if you want to do like the final hand, which I think is like an assassination.
Assassinate a lord? Really? Wow, Jesus Christ, that's a level 1 skill for them. Damn. All right, they just pop a lord out of existence.
Right, so you select that one as well. So you selected your character. Mm-hmm. You've selected the action that you want the character to do. You've got enough manipulation. You've also got the correct level of character. So this requires a level 1 agent. You can see the others require up to like level 25 or 20. So now you can, you've targeted Mr. Argor here. So you can assassinate him now. Mm-hmm. So
shall I?
You can.
I mean, we'll lose our character.
So the other thing, it'll send the character off on. They'll need to recover.
But they don't all have that, right? So
no. So there's 1 or 2 I think that only do diplomatic penalties, and I think the rest, because they're quite powerful, that kind of acts as the cooldown. It'll send the characters away to recover.
Those are really good. The level 1 abilities are fantastic.
Seduce them, you can do. This again, I mentioned this a few times. There's a little bit of abstraction here. Where obviously the Lahmian agents particularly, they go off and
Soul Staff.
Primarily manipulate humans. But again, so you can do it with all.
Listen,
races.
I have no doubt, Mitch, that a vampire could seduce a greenskin. Seduction can mean many different things, and there are many things a vampire can offer to a greenskin that would have the greenskin be like, "Oh, all right, mate." That was a little too.
The next thing we should talk about is we need to end turn.
All right, mate. There we go.
Should I hit the Lord first?
No, don't have to.
Okay.
Just end turn.
Look, I hate skipping the research.
One of the things, you kind of think of these agents as similar to the Doom Engineer, that there's an only agent going through the end turn. One of the things that Neferata has is she has a unique campaign-only agent.
Okay.
So you can
so we have campaign-only agents.
Similar to the Doom Engineer that the Skaven have. Mm-hmm. This means that you can't embed them into armies. They're only on the campaign map, and they only do agent actions. What these handmaidens do is they primarily are responsible for a feature, which is the
so I actually saw a funny thing about this from CA where Lahmian handmaidens are a unit. Lahmian vampires are the generic hero. Lahmian vampire lords are the bloodline lord, and then handmaidens, just handmaidens, are the campaign only agent character for Neferata. So there's four types of Lahmian handmaiden something.
We'll talk about those as soon as you get. Here we go.
Oh, look at that art. Oh, we get Immintet? Oh, they're doing the actual canonical characters. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, so if you've read the Neferata novels for the old world, which is primarily the Neferata and then Master of Death, you get to see like all of her different handmaidens.
Narrative. We won't talk too much about
That's
the narrative.
so
but her
cool. I
narrative
love
is
that you
focused
actually get to
naturally on
see
defeating
her like
nemesis, which is Kalida.
canonical
Yeah,
handmaidens, like her
narrative as well is
closest
focused
ones.
on going back to Lamia. And this is the kickoff of her narrative. One of the cool things, as I mentioned, is the handmaidens, and all of the handmaidens. I made sure to kind of pull out the handmaidens from the lore. So Imhotep. Imhotep was her first handmaiden.
That's so good. Good job, Mitch.
On turn
Good
2.
job.
So
That's
please
so
continue.
cool. I love that.
And she will appear, I believe. There you go.
That's
Imhotep
so
the First.
cool.
So this is a good point to go back into.
Imhotep the First.
Go back into the tech tree.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
Neferata has a 4th catch.
Oh my god, look at this. Oh, they're all from different places too. Giselle of Marienburg, Belatash of Telea, Heternib of Lamia, Namai of Cathay, and Lucindia of Malstonia. That's so awesome. I love this so much. And then Imhotep the First. Oh, this is so cool.
So talking about how crazy the vampire tech tree is.
Wow, she has like a whole nother category on the tech tree. Jesus Christ. Imhotep stands as the first chosen handmaiden, setting the standard by which all others in the coven shall be judged. Gives you 10 manipulation per turn and gives you Imhotep in the faction with a unique trait.
Spent way too much time on the tech tree. It's fine, don't worry.
High Mistress. Elevated above her sisters, Imhotep commands the handmaidens with the poise of a queen and the patience of a spider. An additional 5 manipulation per turn, and Imhotep becomes High Mistress of your handmaidens and gains the following trait.
About it.
So she gets
In
2
here,
traits.
You can get a couple of things that
so
are focused.
Cool. Elevated above her sisters, Imhotep commands the handmaidens with the poise of queen and the patience of the spider. Okay. Vampire covens established by this handmaiden gain an additional 1 concealment per turn. Increase initial concealment of any vampire coven established by this handmaiden by 30. And her title goes from being the first to High Mistress.
Neferata's feature set. You can upgrade Imhotep, and you can also get
cool.
the other,
I love this so much.
handmaidens from the lore, right? So you can get
Oh, this is so cool. Heternev is a relic of the first courts, her counsel sharpened by centuries of blood, betrayal, and survival. The Ancient. That's so cool. Oh, that's so cool. So all of them have a follow-up trait that gives them additional goodies and changes their title. Heternev carries the memories from the first Knights of Lamia, and in her presence, younger immortals remember their
Belatash
place.
from Tilia. You can get Namia or
Belatash of Telea. Raised amongst the intrigue and blood-soaked courts of Telea, Belatash is as deadly with promises as with concealed blades.
Naima?
I think it's
Naima of Cathay, which I think she's like a really big deal in the lore.
Naima. Yeah, probably Naima. From distant Cathay comes Naima, trained in patient schemes, veiled influence, and quiet art of turning rivals upon themselves. Okay, so she starts immortal and she can establish vampire covens.
Might have been Neferata's girlfriend or something. I'm not a lore expert. Don't ask me.
I mean, if you want to get super technical, Neferata is debatably full on a girlfriend with every single one of her close handmaidens. Neferata is very close and affectionate with her inner circle of handmaidens. Vampires, they get it on big time. Naima smiles as empires tangle themselves in plot set in motion by her single whispered word. She gets the cunning epithet, and the initial concealment of any vampire coven established by her is increased by 30.
But you can get these handmaidens.
You're just a tech tree expert.
Just a tech tree expert, yeah. So you
They
can
should
get
have called
these
me.
extra handmaidens, and you can upgrade them with traits, which is cool. You can upgrade your covens as well in the bottom half of the tree.
Oh, that's cool. So you can unlock more buildings. Increase manipulation capacity by 20 and gives you a new building.
Yep. You can also
When a vampire coven is lost due to its settlement being raised, then the handmaiden that initially established the coven will escape instead of being killed. Oh, that's super interesting. Okay, so you have to worry about your covens being found. I like that a lot. I'm still waiting for Creative Assembly to go back and make it where vampire coves can be discovered. For the Vampire Coast, they're still the only secret base you can build underneath other people's shit that can is immune to being found. So I hope they go back to fix that at some point.
should do some stuff focused on manipulation here.
The Noblest Blood enables the construction of the Veiled Sisterhood building, plus 30 capacity, and Ancient Vengeance passive for all Lahmian handmaidens.
Out of the tech tree, let's go back to the handmaiden. We now need to make the handmaiden. So you can see she's got a single action, which is establish vampire coven.
Yep.
Okay, so all they
you
can
can
do
only
is
make
establish
vampire
covens.
in major settlements. So you'll need to go to, I think it's that one. So you'll need to enter it again, but we'll need to.
Oh, there's a layer in there as well.
Okay, so this is one of the bugs. This is not going to work.
Go somewhere else.
We need to go somewhere else. Currently, there's a bug where you can't make a layer and a coven, so you'll need to send it to another major settlement.
If only we had a tunneling stance, you know. Maybe we'll go over here. See what
Well, agents don't.
there.
Okay, we'll just
Yeah, so this army,
advance time a good bit.
which may be one turn closer.
this is fine.
Okay. Units. What was the last one? The
Oh, okay, cool. So here we can see the units that she gets from the Tomb Kings. So she can get Ushabti, Tomb Scorpions, Sepulchral Stalkers, and a Necrosphinx. Ooh, that's really, really cool. Reconquer Lamia and construct the Temple of Blood.
Sphinx, yeah.
Love that.
Back to her days. Yeah.
Empire there. Oh, still.
For a fact, there's a program of fixing that right now, as we before we get essentially set up.
Also, remember this is work in progress, so
Right,
don't worry about the bugs.
Right, is capital. There you go. So
When it said you've discovered a vampire.
world you'll be
They-
discovering
Yeah,
layers.
one down, yeah.
So yeah,
They
these
should
handmaidens,
hopefully all be fixed by the time the
when
build is
you
live.
when you get them to establish a coven, as we're about to see, they won't remain on the map. They'll run the coven. They'll remain in that settlement.
Oh,
essentially.
interesting. Okay, so you can have only a maximum then of what, 6 or 7 covens? Okay, so you're not going to be establishing infinite covens. You have covens that are ran by your specific personal handmaidens. I like that a lot, actually. I think that's a really good way to allow them to feel
To
important.
reduce the amount of corpses in a province when you're not playing. As
So they're not like
I believe you won't
cults
see the,
or the Skaven
Yeah, so you won't see
Undercities
them now.
as much.
don't die.
I mean, that's it, right? You just need to be cognizant of the fact that if you're fighting vampire counts and you're taking casualties, you know, scripted tour, you can be cognizant of the fact the more death that you make happen around vampires might end up bad for you.
So just don't fight any battles.
Giving them corpses. Yeah, I'll just drag them somewhere else.
I said this in my other video for the vampire counts from yesterday, but I do also kind of wish that in light of the vampire count update, I do think it'd be cool if they would make it where certain factions that are very anti-undead had the ability to reduce. You know what? That could actually be a good use of the watchtower buildings. So it's a garrison structure that literally every faction in the game has access to that gives you different buffs. Normally it's used to, like, it can help with disease. So if you're playing Nurgle, it increases the odds of disease spreading, but if you're playing anyone except Nurgle, it decreases the odds of plague spreading. It also like lowers corruption to like either increases the corruption to what you like or it lowers it of enemies. And it also increases the discoverability of like Skaven Undercities and Chaos Cults and stuff. It'd be very, very nice if they would add a feature where it would also reduce the amount of corpses in that province every turn. Because it takes up a whole building slot. So it's not like it's something that is like super easy. You're not just clicking a button to do it. But I think if there was like a dedicated mechanism or a dedicated structure you could build where it like, it reduces the amount of corpses in your province by 100 every turn. I think that would be completely reasonable. And also give you like a really fun thematic way where if you're trying to contain enemy vampires or enemy undead, there's a way to do it.
Imhotep has now established your first vampire coven inside the Tower of Gorgoth. So
Wow, that has a lot more slots than I thought it would. So this is a 6-slot Undercity, which is very, very high. Okay, so Vampire Coven. This coven cannot be removed by the region owner. Interesting. It cannot be removed. Okay, so I think they're saying you can't demolish it. Okay, so like you can't destroy it. You cannot demolish this Vampire Coven manually. Okay. The innate concealment recovery +1 per turn. Concealment gained after destroying an army in this province that belongs to the region owner is +10. Concealment gained after killing an agent in this province that belongs to the region owner +10. Oh no, it does say cannot be removed by the region owner. That's interesting. I guess they're saying that they can't like manually destroy it. I guess there's a trigger that destroys it. When the region owner has a military force anywhere in the province, they reduce your concealment by 2. If they have a hero anywhere in the province, they reduce your concealment by 3. When any region in the province is a ruin or owned by Neferata's faction, it reduces your concealment by 5. When the Coven's concealment is less than 10, you will suffer diplomatic relations or diplomatic relation penalties with the region owner every turn and manipulation. Wow. Okay, so that's really punishing. I really like this though. I like that this means you can't just send a coven. Like, you need to think carefully about where your coven is going to go. You don't just want it anywhere. You want it to go to a place that you know is reliable and that is like going to stand tall and is not just constantly being raised every turn. So you want to send it to a secure, civilized place.
Empire Coven. The first thing we'll mention, we might change this UI. I made this UI, which is why it might change. But on the left side of the screen in the panel, you'll see something called concealment.
Yep.
So,
okay, concealment is a measure of how well it maintains your cover in a province. It can decrease due to various things.
this is kind of like a measure of how hidden your covens are. Even if you get like down to 0, that you won't essentially be like discovered in the way something like an Undercity works. It's just a measure of how aware the settlement owner is of the fact that they've got a coven there. So if you do drop to less than 10, you'll start getting some. Go back on that.
On this.
No.
Okay, so I'm curious. Because there's a tech that specifically says if a coven is destroyed, your vampire won't die.
Yeah, so if you do
so
drop to 10,
I'm curious
you
how a
see
coven
you'll
can
start
die
suffering
then.
some penalties. You'll be losing manipulation and suffering big penalties with the region owner. The way covens work are concealment is really critical. You want it to be high, and you can increase the capacity of concealment as well. But you're going to need to actively manage this. So as I mentioned earlier, for the power of the faction, there's a trade-off. You can get the web of power. You can do some real powerful stuff in there, but you need covens to essentially manage the manipulation. Manipulation is what they're responsible for.
Yep.
And manipulation is what you need for the web of power, obviously. So one of the things you do in here is you can build buildings that will...
oh my gosh, there are a ton of building options.
essentially a whole new
Holy
building
shit.
tree, yeah.
Corpse thievery. +1 concealment per turn with this coven. When this province has more than 0 corpses, you get an additional +1 concealment per turn, and you convert corpses to Oh, that's so cool! That's so cool! So you would want to build that somewhere where either a lot of corpses have built up over the course of the campaign, or it's a place that just sees lots and lots of battles. Like, there's constantly people fighting over it.
So here
That's
you can
so
kind of
cool.
Have extra ways to gain if you go through the...
Hush money. Do not underestimate the value. +1 concealment per turn. This building can be built multiple times per coven. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. So you're bribing like the local officials or like local groups or gangs or whatever to hide you. So it costs you money per turn, but it makes you much more hidden, and you can build it as many times as you want.
These are all different ways that you can get...
Manipulated nobles. +1 concealment per turn with this coven. When the province is fully controlled by the region owner, an additional +1. If it has any tradable resource, +1. And if this is the region owner's capital, +1. That's so cool. I love that.
Concealment.
I love that.
So
I
you
love
need
that.
to
I love
strategically
that.
place your covens. You need to decide...
Manipulated embassies, +1 concealment per turn. If you have a military alliance with them, +1 concealment. If you have a trade alliance with them, +1 concealment. If they're a vassal, +1 concealment. Nice.
Here, right? You see, you're not getting the concealment here from being in an alliance, trade agreement, or a vassal. So maybe go make a coven in one of your, in your allies.
Rural refuge, +1 concealment per turn. If the income is less than 1,000, +1. If they have no military force anywhere in the province, +1. If they're tier 3 or below, get +1. That's super cute. Oh my goodness, I love this. That's so cute.
Different, like a smaller region or so on, right? So decide carefully where you want to place your covens.
Oh my goodness, I
That'll
love
affect
these.
Where you can do with your concealment.
I love these.
Concealment needs to be high because then that will through other buildings. I think if you go into that one.
Okay, hold on. What did that say? Once again, this is very work in progress, so these might change. Military forces and heroes will no longer reduce the concealment of this coven, but it costs you 500 gold a turn.
This one?
Yeah, and then go on that one there. So this is
Oh, interesting. So this gives you -2 concealment per turn, but the higher your concealment is, the more manipulation per turn you get. I really like that. That's very, very
where you
cool.
get your manipulation. The higher
That's
the
super
concealment,
duper
the more
cool.
manipulation you get per turn. So you want to make your covens because
So that allows you. So if you really want to lean into using your weapon power a lot, you're going to need that building to be fully charged.
Handmaidens and your coven.
Throne of Whispers gives also lowers your concealment per turn, but increases your capacity.
Because that will be
all right.
Decides how much you can use the web power and use the power.
So these are the big buildings that you're spending concealment on.
What happens if you conquer a settlement with a coven?
So you can't own a coven in your own region. So if
Etiquette training, +1 capacity for Lahmian handmaidens, +1 melee attack and melee defense for Lahmian handmaidens faction wide, +1% upkeep for Lahmians faction wide, -1 concealment per turn, and if you have concealment greater than 100, you get +1 leadership, +1% physical resist. So you could stack these. Actually, if you had like 5 or 6 of these, that's actually pretty powerful. Getting like +5 melee attack, +5 melee defense is really, really solid. Leadership and physical resist is like if you can only have like 5 or 6 of these, that part's not that great. But the melee attack and melee defense is pretty good.
If you were to conquer the Tower of Gorgoth now, your coven would be gone. However, as I mentioned, the handmaiden is running the coven. So if this region gets raised, or if you occupy the region or some other ways, the handmaiden will just come back out, and then you can move her on and move her somewhere else. If you go back in, is the building, and then go on that one, and then go on that one, all right?
Silent Withdrawal. The handmaiden that initially established this vampire coven will be returned. Oh, okay, so that's how you leave. So you have to build a specific building. So you abandon the coven. If your concealment is less than 80, there's a 50% chance she's wounded. If it's less than 40, there's a 30% chance. That's what? Oh, 30% additional chance. Ooh, Lord. Okay. So if you have less than 80, there's a 50-50 chance she'll be wounded. If it's less than 40, there's an 80% chance she'll be wounded.
So
that's
this
crazy.
One, you can abandon the coven yourself. So if your concealment gets low and you kind of think, this coven's just a lost cause, kick your handmaiden out, tell her you're going somewhere else now. And you can buff your handmaidens, you can go on the one on the right.
Oh, okay, right. If you upgrade that tech, okay, that is substantially better. +2, so you could get essentially at least another 10% physical resist and 10 leadership, but also 10 melee attack, 10 melee defense. That is worth it. That's really good.
Right, which is
Veiled Sisterhood. Instantly recruit a new handmaiden hero in this region. You cannot remove this building once it is built. -2 concealment per turn. When the coven's concealment is less than 80, the handmaiden will be wounded when recruited. Okay, interesting.
That can give you access. You can train a new handmaiden.
Oh, so you so you get the legendary handmaidens. You get the legendary ones from your tech tree, which are the named lore ones. But you can also train new handmaidens that come from these. So you can have a shit ton of covens. It's just that it comes at a risk, and you have to dedicate buildings to it. That's super cool. I really like that.
If you go on that one there. So there's these two on the right.
Subtle Acquisition, +5 manipulation per turn, -1 concealment per turn. However, you steal income based on their income. Love that.
The income from the
Love that. Makes me want to pop one of those in Marienburg ASAP. Or Zarnagrund. Actually, Mingle Zarnagrund is going to be like one of the best places to put these guys. Midnight Courtship improves diplomacy with them over time. Thank you. Thank you for including diplomacy manipulation for Neferata. That's really, really good. That's super duper 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 good. I love that. I love that. I love diplomacy manipulation.
One of my favorites is you can boost it.
Good.
Dwarf. I want a chaos relations are going to keep.
So you can make them really, really friendly.
Decide carefully where you want your coven
Good.
to be.
That is appropriate manipulation for Neferata.
No, I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check that one.
What do you say?
I don't.
Are you paying the upkeep of the handmaiden while she's running the coven?
I don't think so. Maybe yes or no. I'm not 100% sure. I'll have to check.
Okay, that's a
We're
good question.
told off so much by chat for how we're pronouncing these things.
Coven. Coven sounds dumb. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if that's how they say it in the UK. It should be coven. but also I'm an American. They're
Probably
You've
is.
Brits.
got the word covenant, right?
Because it's covenant, and it's a witch's coven, because they have a covenant with each other.
But
I'll dub over all of this in the vault.
It's not
yeah, do that.
coven.
I mean, I've just been saying coven, so I mean, at least I got layer right.
How else would you pronounce lair? How else would you pronounce it,
If you
Mitch?
didn't, I would have been concerned.
Okay.
Mitch, how else
There
would
was
you
a question
pronounce that
if
word?
Neferata got the Dread Abyssal, her unique Dread Abyssal, even without being connected to Nagash. I believe at the moment that isn't the way it's set up. At the moment, it is very Nagash orientated.
Yeah, and I will say that is the lore accurate version. People may hate that, and if they do, they can try to convince Creative Assembly to change it. I don't think Creative Assembly will, not because they don't want to, but because I think Games Workshop is going to tell them no. The lore was very, very explicit in the end times that Archon the Black, Neferata, and Manfred von Karstein are only able to acquire the Dread Abyssals because Nagash gives it to them as a gift. I wish that wasn't the case, because I think they would make some very, very cool late game mounts for those characters that would be very fun and unique. But I feel pretty confident Games Workshop is who ultimately has the final say on these things. I think Games Workshop would be like, no.
Yeah.
But, if there's a lot of feedback on that, that's something we can talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Shall we? No, I don't know which one's.
Yeah, we can.
Unless there's more you want to coven about? Coven? Oh, no.
Right, she didn't exist before. So yeah, full skill tree. She's got some things in
Neferata
here
skill
that,
tree.
again, as I mentioned, she can really buff.
Oh, look at
like
that Coven Throne thing. Wow, the Coven Throne is considered a higher tier mount than the Zombie Dragon? What the
Lahmian
fuck?
units. She can buff your
Blood Harvest gives plus 15 melee attack when fighting humans. Hilarious.
manipulation stuff. You can increase your capacity here, among other ways.
Cool.
So yeah,
Show me some
brand new
skills.
skill
Show me
tree
some
for her.
skills. Court of the Veiled Queen. Plus 3 recruit rank for Lahmian vampires in all provinces. Immediately unlocks Lahmian vampire recruitment and plus 2 capacity.
Focus on Lahmian
Fantastic.
vampire.
Web of Intrigue. Minus 5% vampire lair empowerment cost. Plus or minus 5% blood cost. Plus 2 control. Oh, wow. Okay, so she makes all vampire lair buffs cheaper and
Heroes
gives
as
you
well.
control of vampire corruption faction wide. That's awesome. Lethal Glamour. Plus 8 melee attack. Plus 8 armor piercing. Damn. For Lahmians in your army. Plus 10% additional physical resist. And plus 1 use of all their bound spells.
Lahmian units.
Kick ass.
You want
ass.
to make
Queen of Mysteries, plus 2 capacity for Lahmian handmaids, minus 50% construction cost for all vampire building chains in her region, and minus 1 construction time. Hell yeah.
Lahmians, by all means.
Twilight's Allure, minus 5 melee defense, minus 5 leadership locally, and Twilight's Allure is an ability. And then Twilight Ascendant gives her the Shadow Blood ability. Shadow Blood, if memory serves, that's referring to Neferata has a really scary ability that she learns in the background where she can weaponize her blood. Like, she literally can, like, slice her own veins open and use her blood as, like, a burning, horrible projectile that just, like, fucks you up. She also gets the Wind of Death, greatly cheapened in cost, which is awesome, and some spell intensity.
We are very close to time, but we could just run into about.
Is the Lahmian hero.
Yep.
So obviously we've got the existing vampire heroes, but this is one much more focused on being a Lahmian.
Okay.
You don't say.
About the Twitch, the Odyssey came again. It's not new. I've turned it on in the settings because we were going to do a Warhammer 3 stream, and then the Odyssey came out, and we did a Pharaoh stream. It's not on by default. That's why that button's there.
Yeah.
It's not new. It's just
Silver Pinnacle, something I forgot. On the left here, you got Blood Decrees. So this was one of the things that you could have.
Yay, the Blood Decrees, they remembered. Okay, Tenebrous Authority. Is instantly replenish 50% movement range for all owned armies within the province. Fuck, that's really good. Oh, but it costs 300 blood? Okay, damn. Oh, it lasts for 3 turns, too. Okay, so that is very expensive, but it's also very, very good. Plus 10 control, plus 20% vampire corruption.
So these are provincial.
Yep.
Sanguine, Sanguine, I think is Sanguine. Man, I'm suddenly not. I'm making fun of them, and I'm sitting here like, I think most people say sanguine, because I know it means. I know what it means. Sanguine has to do with like bloody stuff. But plus 500 hit barrier health for units when defending settlements, 100% unit experience gained in battle, or just gained, minus 50% attrition, and plus 2,000. Okay, so this is you're under siege. Use this.
Actions. They require blood for 2 of them. The one
Oh, okay, but they cost different amounts.
From the technology tree. So these are provincial.
Yep.
Okay, so that one only costs
blood,
200, so that's cheaper. And then Midnight Culling. Oh, it reduces your population surplus by 2? Oh my god, that's so scary. So you murder 3,000 people. You murder 3,000 people. That's crazy. That is probably the best one by a lot, because this actually gives your provinces a use for having very, very high population. Once you've maxed out all of your settlements and you're like, oh, I don't need population anymore, you could just spam Midnight Culling to give you 3,000 corpses every time. That is actually huge. The vast majority of factions in the game, once you've like maxed out your population, the population surplus is completely useless. That's huge. That's actually a really, 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 really cool.
You actually can spend population is about to attack.
I like that a lot. Man, that actually makes me want a version of that for the Dark Elves. I think that would be cool for the Dark Elves for like Death Knight. It'd be cool if Death Knight had a gimmick. We kind of have Death Knight as a mechanic for what's her face, but I think if they reworked Death Knight so that it essentially existed for all of the Dark Elves, but you had like a better version for Hellebrand, that would actually be a really, really cool thing, is if you could like sacrifice population cap to no. Forget what I said. What would be really cool for the Dark Elves is if the Dark Elves had the ability to enslave their own people. So like you can reduce the population by 2 and it immediately gives you like 3,000 slaves or whatever. That would be super cool for Dark Elves.
Don't have enough corpses to get a quick zombie on.
Grab yourself a bunch of defense. There was a question of if Ulrika interacts with Neferata.
Yeah, we saw a lot of feedback on that recently.
It was me. The feedback was me. That was me. I went and kicked in the doors of Creative Assembly and I said, hey, y'all should spread around those legendary heroes. Y'all should move all those legendary heroes around. Like I need Steercar in Norska. I need the upcoming Gutrot Spume in Norska. I need Gotrek and Felix for Kalita. I need Gotrek and Felix for Teclis. I need Ulrika for Neferata. Like, I don't know which of those are going to get approved and which of them are not going to get approved, because, like, dumping feedback, like, I give a lot of feedback. That is, like, primarily what I do. If you ever see me vanish for long periods of time, one of three things has just happened. Either A, I am sick and or depressed, and I am in a healing coma, either mentally or physically, so I'm sleeping a lot until I feel better. Number 2, I am on a secret trip to somewhere in the world for Warhammer often related reasons, and I am like testing something or doing on some nonsense. Or number 3, and a much commoner option, is that I am testing some gimmick for Total War, and I am leaving them mountains and mountains of feedback as I play the game without ever sleeping or streaming or making videos, because I'm dedicating all my time to that.
I have to check with GW on that. Mm-hmm. So my understanding of where it currently is, I believe we're trying to do that. We just need to like double check a load of different things, like technically is that fine, and also like, you know, does it work with the law?
Yep.
And stuff like that.
So to be fair to CA, to be extremely transparent and fair to Creative Assembly, a lot of the time it's out of their hands. And they don't get to decide that. It's up to Games Workshop. Unfortunately, I don't have the ability to talk to Games Workshop directly about this kind of stuff. I wish I could, genuinely. Like, I would love if I had the ability to have like email correspondence with the licensing department at Games Workshop on CA's behalf to like make lore arguments for them. But I don't work for CA, contrary to popular mythos. I'm not actually employed by them. They don't pay me. I wish they paid me, but they don't pay me. All of the volunteering I do is for free. They do pay me when I show up to do an event. But like that's very specific situations. And every single content creator gets paid for that. But that goes anyway. But when it comes to like all the testing stuff and all that stuff, nope, that's just out of the good of my obsessed autistic heart.
Something we're aware of, something I think we're like looking into doing, but we just need to, check.
So if it's not in 9.0, that doesn't mean it's a no. It means there's more that we need to look at. So we'll update you as to what the resolution.
Yeah, it would be nice to see like Ulrika with Vlad von Karstein, because Ulrika does serve under Vlad during the end times. But and I could say this from personal experience, Games Workshop is very, very nitpicky about what they consider to be relevant or canon and what they don't. And it's not as simple as you may think. It's not a situation of like, oh, we'll just take this book that they wrote that was published by Black Library, for instance, or even an army book that was published from their core studio. I could take one of those books and I can literally, and I've literally done this, go to Games Workshop's face and been like, hey, you should do this because it's written right here. And they go, no. That's because their lore it's not consistent. It's constantly going through rewrites and retcons and updates. And there are many times where they'll look at it and be like, we don't feel like whatever that was is consistent with the way we look at our world right now. Which that can suck at times. Sometimes it's good though. It can protect us from like bad things. Like some things that they did in the older lore that were like, ugh, like we don't really want that. It could protect us from some really weird decisions. So it's kind of a mixed bag.
That is when we have a resolution. Yeah. So I can upset as many. Thank you. You know what? You're the first person to have said that.
Right,
not sarcastically.
Not at all sarcastically. So yeah, here they are.
The Lahmians look so cool. Yeah, so you can see how there's like a Cathayan one, an Empire one, and a Kislevite one.
One of the I saw this actually. I saw it on Reddit.
I like the rapiers.
I think it was Reddit, but we've made some really cool little details here. So, like.
So that's Occam's Mind Razor. Okay, it's slightly different. Okay, so it looks like they don't have real Occam's Mind Razor. Oh, that's super interesting. Okay, so they don't have actual Occam's Mind Razor as a bound spell. Instead, it looks like they have an augment that they put on their weapons. So it gives them magical attacks and damage for a bunch of damage.
Like where Neferata pulls her handmaidens from, or places like, Cathay and such. And there are lots of like different little nods to like how all of the handmaidens look. Press K.
I really love that we got. I really love that we got handmaidens from different parts of the world.
Kind of
That's so
nods
cool.
if you like zoom in and look at their artwork, and you can kind of suggest like, oh, this is where they maybe.
I always forget there's an actual zoom button
from like Kislev or from Cathay or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, they look really cool.
Menacing.
Yeah,
they look great. I love the Lahmians. They look fantastic.
Really fun unit to use. They're really good. Two different versions as well of like Death and Shadows and.
Oh, okay. Look at that. Okay, so the Death version has like they're one-handing it, and then I guess they're casting magic with their other hand. Good, that's really. Oh yes, look, she's casting magic. That's super cool.
I think one of them is.
That's super cool.
Yeah, nice to throw in your front line. Maybe alongside some chaff units or something herself. Like a zombie.
We have the Lord.
Yeah, there you go.
Nope,
she looks
hero.
pretty cool.
So that's the Lahmian vampire hero. Ignore what Josh just said.
This is Neferata herself.
Bastet, a slender black silhouette, is all that remains of Neferata's feline familiar, foreshadowing bad luck for her foes and protecting her from danger. So they're undead familiars. Holy moly. Pick an enemy, minus 40 melee defense, minus 60 armor. Jesus Christ, that's gonna fucking hurt.
Unique ability with her cat. Yep. I didn't know this myself actually, but I think that is she had a cat from the lore.
Oh, well.
So this is our representation of that.
You didn't.
Yeah, she not only has a lot of cats. The big thing about Neferata is she can turn into a cat. Lahmians are super duper duper big about cat transmorgification, and also like the control of cats, using cats as spies, having cats as familiars. Lahmians are like super big into that.
And it's sitting in the top of the hat.
I mean, the cat is in there, you just can't see it.
Ah, that's why it's so big.
Yeah.
If there was a cross section of
I
it.
will say, I hate the hat for Neferata. I'm gonna be honest. I hate the giant hat. I understand why she has it. She was designed at the exact same time as the Nagash. So Nagash and the Mortarks were all designed at the exact same time, and they wanted Neferata to fit the motif of the Undead Legions and what they kind of considered to be like Lahmian aesthetic. And the idea that they ended up coming up with is that they basically made it where Neferata has a lot of her design is inspired by Archon the Black and Nagash. So with like some Tomb King-ish elements. So if you look at Archon the Black and you look at Nagash, they both have these absolutely fucking ridiculous giant hats. And Neferata is the same. They gave her this big stupid hat. It's not my favorite design. I personally, I really wish Neferata had more of an Egyptian aesthetic, a more of a Nehekaran aesthetic, as she is someone that is like very obsessed with maintaining her connection to Lamia ever since she was kicked out, and that like she considers that her home, and she's like decorated the Silver Pinnacle to look like Lamia, and she like surrounds herself with a lot of things from Lamia or just Nehekar in general. And I was always not a huge fan of how they ended up designing her. I feel like it's not a good design for the character. It's a great design. I just don't think it's a great Neferata design, and it's mostly because of the hat. Everything else you can kind of wave is like, it's vampire aesthetic, and like the armor is pure fine. It's a bit von Karstein-y, the armor in my opinion, but at the same time, like if she's going to war, you would imagine she's gonna wear stuff to make her hard to hurt. But Lahmians, like even in battle scenarios, traditionally they tend to lean much less on armor and much more on like being freakishly inhumanly fast. But you know, it is what it is.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. This was the skill tree for you.
Okay, so it looks like that's everything. Okay, so thank you to Josh and Mitch. I think they did a fantastic job running that showcase. They showed off an absolutely staggering fuck ton of content. There we go. So like, goddamn, absolutely incredible. I hope you all enjoyed this. I didn't mean to turn into 2 videos, but then I kind of kept yapping, and here we are. So if you haven't already, the video where I go over the Vampire Counts rework, I released yesterday. So if you want to watch that, please go on and feel free. If instead you're just caring about the Neferata stuff, then you can watch this. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go work on fixing my audio stuff before Lorebeards later in a good amount of hours. But please take care. Thank you all so much for watching. There we go. It's late. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye-bye.